I'm going to take you through the process of making a mallet. We will start with a log, and we will saw a stop cut all the way around that log, just far enough in that it will help us remove all the wood that is not the handle on the handle end. And then we will rest that on a stump and with a knife batten down to remove chunks of wood, and then we'll round out the handle and neaten off the ends. We're going to use a piece of sycamore for this. That's these kinds of leaves. They've got the helicopter seeds and they spread prolifically, so you often find dense areas of sycamore trees growing really nice and tall and straight, and they're perfect for many crafts such as spatulas, pegs and mallets. So there's this area up the top here which is quite knotty and knobbly, so I'm going to use that as the head of the mallet for knocking the back of tools and things like that. And then there's a nice area here without many knots, just one slight knot that we can use as thinning the handle. So that feels like it's roughly the same depth all the way around, probably about 8mm to a centimetre deep. I think I'll have my handle about the same length as my head of my mallet, so I'll be cutting that off there. Okay, so now we're going to utilise a knife, a fixed blade knife, and you can either at this point use just another log as a mallet for battening, or I happen to have a roughed out mallet here, so I'll just utilise that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take chunks of wood off, and as I'm tapping on the back of the knife, you want to have the knife so the handle is nearly touching the wood. You want a little bit of clearance, but if you have it all the way back here, then once the knife's actually embedded into the wood, it's quite challenging to have such a small target to hit on. So you want it, and you don't want to be further from the edge than you cut in with the saw. So you have to kind of have a good feel of how far that was. Yeah, so see, that's now, the knife's now embedded in the wood. We've got a little bit of space there and a good overhang for our target with the mallet. So as I'm tapping with my right hand, you can see the handle's going to go up unless I push down on that too. So you're balancing the force of the mallet with pushing down on the handle. And that last bit just slipped through, so you kind of want to reduce the pressure and intensity that you're hitting with, the closer to the stop cut that you get. So we'll go round somewhat like a hexagon, I imagine. So I'm getting near to that stop cut, so I'm going to go quite lightly now, and there it's coming off. Of course, if I were to hammer heavily or mallet heavily near the stop cut, then you're in danger of the knife going all the way through the stop cut and into the bit of the mallet that you want to keep round and full. So there's a couple of places where we've still got a lot of stop cut yet to be revealed. So I'm going to just take that corner there where we're almost not taking any wood right down here and go in a bit deeper. And again here. And now we're taking off smaller chunks of wood. You can actually steer the knife. So the natural tendency for the knife as it gets nearer its escape, where it reaches the stop cut, is to flake out so that there's a wider part left at the bottom and a thinner part at the top. But as this is quite a small bit of wood, you can steer the knife by angling it inward as you tap down toward the end. And that just helps shape it up. Here we've got that knot that we had, so I'm going to come in just underneath the knot and deal with the knot afterwards. And again, because it's not a huge amount of wood, I should be able to steer the knife quite accurately. That feels like there's no stop cut underneath there, so I may have gone slightly too deep on that one. So yeah, about 2 millimeters where we didn't have a stop cut. So that's not a problem. What we can do, because I've stopped, is we can just saw a tiny bit further in there. So there's just a couple more places to remove a bit more wood, and then we can round it out, make it a bit more comfortable in the hand. So you can use the ground to lean upon, and you can just work towards that stop cut at the base of the handle to remove any sort of overhanging wood. And then round out the rest of the handle. So there we have our mallet.